I just need to do two things. Y'all give me 1 second. All right, so check this out. I just wanted to say this. I want to say this real quick. Below this is a video, and I want y'all to check that video out. And when you check that video out, what I want you to see inside that video is a woman responded to me very nasty. And she was very upset for whatever reason. I don't know what reason she was. But let me tell you what we're not going to do. See, when I'm on this little phone right here, and I'm delivering my little sermons and talk about whatever, whether it be the music industry, which I was a part of, or whatever the case may be. You're not going to get on here. You're not going to make any references towards my family or anybody else. Why? Because I haven't done anything like that to you. Now, if you want to get into that, we can get into that. But I want you to make sure you do a couple of things when you do that. I want you, first of all, to use my email address. That's FORMERBBE@yahoo.com. I want you to use that, and I want you to mail me your address. And subsequently, I want you to mail me at least 3 of your family members' addresses. I'm going to bring y'all all together for a family reunion. See, there's a couple things you don't mess with people. You don't mess with the animals. You don't fuck with the family. And the closer the family member is, the more in danger you are. I'll say that for you again if you didn't hear me. The closer the family member, the more in danger you are. I don't play that YouTube going back and forth shit. Convicted 2-time felon, I will show up at your fucking house. Need be. You'll never see me coming. So all that loud talking from this woman called herself Educated Queen, you're no queen. You're the trash. First of all, a queen, in the rights of what she was mentioning, has to be anointed and it has to be upheld by the people, not by herself. You can't just come out and call yourself a queen. The sheer notion and the retardation of it itself is just ridiculous. That means that any woman is basically on the same even platter. So that means that the term itself holds no bearing. If you're all calling yourself queens, then who's the leader of you motherfuckers? Where's the rest of the court? You gotta have a court. It's a royal altar. You gotta have a court. So the terminology itself don't make any sense. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have the filters on my YouTube account. And the reason I did this is because last time, with the bickering that goes on, the gossiping that goes on YouTube, I saw it fit to do this so it would protect me from certain elements. Like if somebody says something real obnoxious and nasty, I don't want to have the opportunity to reply back to it. You know what I mean? And so today, when y'all see the video that's right down below, I just put it up. When y'all see that video, you're gonna see. And people ask me, well, why you put people on blast like that? Fuck that. You know why? Because you had bad intentions by me. You understand what I'm saying? And had I let it happen, it would have happened. Now, if I had to make a guess, this is either 1 or 3 people that I got it honed down to. And one of them I'm very disappointed in if it is that person. But, you know, whatever. Shit happens. You move on. You go on. You know? I never let anybody get me down. But that right there, my father's dead. You know? That you won't do. That when you end up with him. Joking around like that. So let's not go there. Okay? This is YouTube. We're on here to talk about whatever. I talk about togetherness and everything else. But please don't forget my record. Talking about it was just real sickening. I'll link the video in here as well for people on the rebroadcast. I wish I could have done it as I was doing this. And I think it was a way I could have, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I don't get on here and talk about nobody's mothers. I've been mad at Tasha K. I've been mad at Toxic Diamond or whatever, but I never talked about the kids in the stream. I talked about Toxic Diamond. I never talked about Tasha K's kids or her family or her husband. I talked about it, and I did in a joking manner. You know what I'm saying? So I don't appreciate when somebody comes on the mic or comes to the comment section and voices their opinion for whatever fucking reason, you know? This is not your channel. And so if she ever makes another comment, she will be blocked. It might have been the subject title itself or whatever, but there was definitely some jealousy there. You always talk about your mama. Like, I said, why? Because your mom wasn't shit? You know, that's what that symmetry is, you know? So you have to point out to yourself the direction and the energy these statements are coming from. So that ain't gonna stop me. Listen, nigga, you can say anything you want to about me. What you won't say about me is I'm unaccomplished. That's what you won't say. I'll say it again, I'll say it how, and I'll boast that much that I say. You know what I'm saying? I've done the work, I've been through the office buildings, worked in the office buildings, been all across the country. I have no problem with my life. The people that make statements like that are people that have low self-esteem and have a problem with their life, and they're trying to prove to a crowd that they more worth than what they are. But check this out. Do y'all not remember in my 3-hour podcast today that I sat there and I talked about this very same thing about motherfuckers coming into the comment section trying to gain some popularity off of obnoxiousness, they say. And they do it on Kevin Samuels' page, they do it on Kwame Brown's page, they damn sure do it on Boyce's page, and they do it on many others. So the only thing I'm asking is, when is that shit gonna stop? I'm gonna make this about 20 minutes so I can just talk about this shit. Y'all please hit the thumbs up button if y'all can, please. The reason I wanted to talk about this, not because it bothered me, I don't give a fuck what you said. And I wouldn't have replied to that shit anyway. It's not that. It's more so that you got the audacity to come out your mouth about somebody's parents. You never met my parents. You know what I mean? For one. Two, I think it's highly a jump from I said something you don't like to you start going into the most despicable fucking conversation you possibly can about somebody's mother and father. Like I said, the video is right down below, so just click my name, click videos, and you go see it. And there's many other comments I've had like that. I've had niggas tell me they gonna kill me and Gene. All kinds of shit. You know? That's real talk. We'll get you and that fat nigga Gene out of here. That's what they said. If you hear me, Gene Deal, they after you too. Whoever these motherfuckers are. But these choice niggas of the crop, that's what I call them, niggas. That's what they're on. Only niggas and Paul White Trash keep shit going on between their own people. It was Paul White Trash ran up here in that Capitol building. Peckerwood crackers, half inbred niggas. And that was some educated queen shit. That was some bottom, trash, barrel, high-rise project shit, you said. I ain't never got on this mic and talk about nobody's mother, nobody's father, even when I was mad at people. You ain't never heard me up here say anything about Storm Monroe's family or his or whatever. And half the time be joking about Storm Monroe. You know what I'm saying? I might get along with Storm Monroe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the point. When I've ever said something about him, I've ever said something about Tasha K, I've ever said something about Toxic Diamond, I never included their families or anybody else that I had a tip with online. Nobody. And you won't fucking do it to me. And that's why I put that up. And if you write comments like that, know that they're not going to make the light of day. And then two, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take that shit and I'm going to post it. I'm going to take that shit and I'm going to post it. Every time somebody make a fake account, because that account was fake too. Every time you make a fake account and post a comment, I'm going to post that shit. And I'm going to give a diatribe and make a whole fucking show out of it. You know why? Because actually, like, unlike most of y'all to write that shit, I actually got talent. I worked in the business. I did the job. I done it. Can't tell me nothing about it. I dealt in the business, for real. Not no fake shit. You know what I'm saying? You want to be who I've already accomplished and been. And that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But you're not going to do it by that means because I said something that you don't like, so you go full in. You know what I mean? And had it be a woman of color, had it been a white woman, whoever, because there's a lot of obnoxious-ass white women like this, too. That's where you get your Karens from. I could deal with Becky, but fuck Karen. There's some white Karens that be on white folks like that, too. I'm going to show y'all some more videos of that shit. White Karens on white people. It's an attitude of entitlement. I know entitlement. I worked for millionaires for 17 fucking years. I know entitlement. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times I pulled my chest? I went to bad boy niggas. You know what I'm saying? I know entitlement. This type of behavior is sickening because they don't do it this on my channel. They do it on Kevin Samuel's channel. They do it on Boyce Watkins' channel. They do it on many other different YouTubers' channel. You know what I'm saying? Not feeling all that empathy for him, but Tommy Sotomayor had the same problem. Y'all hit them like buttons as y'all come in and fade out, please. He had the same fucking problem. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this? No, anybody, she's in there. He left you alone because of your mental illness. No, motherfucker, you have a mental illness. Anytime that you go around and you create a fake profile, specifically to float around YouTube and fuck with people, this is a mental illness. I can switch between my accounts and talk to you from all those accounts, right? And all those accounts got my picture. All of them got my picture. You understand what I'm saying? All of them got my picture. I don't hide who the fuck I am, but these coward ass niggas will talk shit about you and then hide who they are. They got a picture of themselves, nothing. My broad had a picture, but it's a little ass picture, and it was obstructed by whatever was around her, so you couldn't really see her face. And you wouldn't say that shit to my face, so why the fuck you? I wish you would say something about my father to my face. I'd take your whole head off. If I could take your head off, I'd get somebody to take your head off. For real. I don't give a fuck. If you bold enough to say that, you bold enough to fight me. That's what you implying. So put your hands up. You wanna act like a guy. And I'm sorry. I strongly see this out of women of color, this masculine, I'm above you, you're lower than me shit. You know what I mean? And trust me, like I said, that unaccomplished bitch, because that's the only people that try to prove that point is unaccomplished motherfuckers. Motherfuckers that have never done nothing in their entire life. You know, the main ones that go after that. Listen, I'm sorry that I made the decision to move off, even with my mother, even with friends. Everybody else told me, yo, you ain't gonna do nothing with that. Within a year of being on the bricks, traveling after that, it wasn't even a year, I think it was like a couple months, I was in with a record company. You know what I mean? And I stayed with that same record company for 17 fucking years. So with that being said, one of the funny things is that people nowadays try to decimate what you have done. And they do it in intention of trying to somehow or another garner some type of achievement or pluses or something like that. I don't know what it is. But it's just all around the diaphragm of the YouTube world right now. And it's sick. The things that I see, like I frequent a lot of different pages. Like I just don't deal with, you know, like what's going on in gossip, or I don't just deal with what's going on with the latest trend for that day or whatever. That's how I ascertain that many views. So I don't sit around and just talk about that shit. I try to talk about a litany of different things. But the thing that disturbs me is Black and Latin people are so distraught and trying to fit in that, yeah, it's a total assimilation going on. All these attitudes and all this shit you see, particularly, and I hate to say it, from a segment, not all the women, but a segment of the women, Black and Latina, all inclusive. What you're seeing, and white women too, what you're seeing is a shift or a hope for a shift in the paradigm of power. And I have no problem with a woman making more money. I have no problem with a woman doing this, doing that, or whatever. What you're not going to do is you're not going to use me as a tool and berate me along the way. Let me say this once and let me say this one time. And this go for any chick on motherfucking YouTube in the comment section. I know a whole bunch of hard-hitting ass chicks. Got Brewer in Queens, in Brooklyn, in Harlem, in motherfucking Bronx. There's now too many barrels to know nobody know me, all right? And this is from long standing, being around those neighborhoods. They love me. I'm little brother to some others. I'm big brother and cousin or whatever. You understand? All different nationalities. Black, Latin, Dominican, Cuban, all of them. They love me because I'm a natural self. Between all them girls I know, they'll beat the motherfucking brakes off your motherfucking ass. I done seen them beat the brakes off dudes. So don't you ever think for one moment that I can't find who you are, where you are, and decide whether or not I want to do something to you or not. You understand what I'm saying? I have a lot of friends. I got a lot of enemies too. Secret enemies, some of them. I got a lot of enemies too. We're talking about somebody's parents, that's just low trodden. And it's not the fact that it bothered me, it's just I want to bring it to attention. Yeah, low caliber motherfucker. There's nothing I said on this mic. Nothing, including my 3-hour podcast a day that would insinuate that I was talking about somebody's dead parents or mother or something like that. That was intentional. And that intentional post that you put up, well, got blocked. All right, guys, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Watch out for the haters. They out here. You know what I mean? Black Klansmen and Klans women, evidently. I might have to do a whole show on that. Black Klansmen and Klan women. I think I'll schedule that for later on tonight. We'll talk about that because I could break that really, really, really down. Most of the motherfuckers that do this shit, which is cooning in a lower fashion, most of these motherfuckers that do this shit, they do it with intention of trying to aspire to get somewhere. And they never reach there. Why? Because they don't have no natural talent or ability to do so and further it. That's why. You stick around a couple motherfuckers and humble yourself, they teach you how to do it for free. I'm out, guys. I'll see y'all later. Links in the description, all that good stuff or whatever. And I'll try to link the other videos so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about and talk about some of these sickos. And don't let nobody, let me tell y'all one more thing before I get up off of here. Don't let none of these motherfucking unaccredited, never studied. I went to college, all right? And a lot of people I know went to college, or friends of mine still to this day. And don't let somebody with an unqualified, unregistered, unaccredited opinion or theory dictate to you what should be good for you. I've seen a lot of people do that on YouTube, through their venues that they do, or their vehicles rather, that they use on the same engine. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's sickening. It's like you're feeding these people lies, you're feeding them faux information or old information or regurgitated information. You're not feeding them what they really need, you know? And as a result, you're collecting a tax on it by asking people to donate and shit like that. That shit is chuck. You know what I'm saying? And like, maybe we need to go back to the old days where we just start beating the fuck out motherfuckers. That's what I'm with, you know? Call it violent, whatever you want to. There was a time in this country where guys would just do what they had to do, go beat the fuck out of whoever. Like half of the motherfuckers that ran up into that Capitol or whatever and let that poor girl get shot. Motherfuckers should have had their ass whooped. Y'all should have went and bonded them motherfuckers out of jail and whooped their ass. I tell y'all this 3 or 4 times now. You get one of these child molesters or one of these motherfuckers in the neighborhood, go bail that motherfucker out of jail. Have somebody anonymous go bond that motherfucker out of jail and go get him. Touch a kid, fuck with a girl, you know what I'm saying, some extreme shit. Go bond that motherfucker out of jail. Brooklyn, what's going on? That's new to some people. It's old to us. That's what you should do. Because I tell you this much, I ain't got no kids, but when I have a kid, you come fuck with my kid, in the trunk you go. And I'll sit around and tell the police why I did it. And I'll go handcuff in handcuff with the motherfuckers on my merry way. Kids, I love you. Daddy love you. I'ma see you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, LT. Guy R. Brewer, aka New York Boulevard. I went on JS 72 Rockdale, my old stomping grounds. Trust me, my homegirl Dion, she over there, man. Shout out to Dion. Yeah, Guy Brewer, Queens, man. Catch the Q12 bus, all that. You gotta get off at Queens Plaza right there and transfer to the buses, you heard? They still got a big mural out there right now with Jam Master Jay and everybody else right there by the car spot. What up, Queens? Queens, New York, what's going on? Whole tri-state. I rep the whole tri-state. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. You know, as far as living, I've lived the most in Connecticut, but as far as working, I worked in New York. I have long-term, lifelong friends in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? My friends Joey and Dominic I always speak of, you know what I'm saying, that originally lived here in Connecticut, but real Italians from Palermo. You know what I mean? Real Italians. So I'm gonna take you guys, like I told you on my live, and we'll go to that restaurant that they just opened maybe 2 years ago. I was there for the launch. I ate there for free that day. I was fucking stuffed. Hey, have some of this too. They were trying to make me a test taster that day. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You trying to make me fat? What the fuck? Like, we all known each other since we were younger, so it's like, that's how we are. But, you know, I was just like, what the fuck are you doing here? They had everything, Stromboli, all that shit you love. You know, I said Stromboli, that's Greek. But feta with this, feta that, like real Italian food. It's not like that faux shit you get at fucking Olive Garden or some shit, stick in the microwave, fucking stick it up your ass later. Um, I'm telling you guys, there's something wrong with people on YouTube that sit around and make fake profile. Y'all don't think something's wrong with a motherfucker like that? Somebody that just goes around and says, yo, they intentionally say, I'm gonna make a fake profile. And then if you block me, I'm gonna make another fake profile for that fake profile. That takes calculated thought. Don't never walk with me. That takes calculated thought. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on? LT, Jamaica Ave, that's where you at? Got you. Yeah, man, Queens. I just spent some good nights in Queens and them projects over there, having a good old time. You know what I'm saying? Nigga went over there one night at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Me and my man stomping through there. Shout out to my man Uptown Samoa, man. That's my brother right there. Now that's my younger brother. You know what I'm saying? Love that old big head boy. But listen, man, let me tell y'all something. If anybody's on YouTube and they just like harassing people like I see on Kevin's page and I see on other people's pages, there's something wrong with you. There's something deeply fucking wrong with you. And while you're trying to psychoanalyze everybody else, maybe we need to psychoanalyze these individuals. Y'all have to start taking not accountability, but start taking charge. You know what I mean by that? Meaning like, you have to start taking charge of these motherfuckers and how they're so just wicked. You know what I mean? And like, just like an infection, they spread. You get what I'm saying here? And as they spread, this ideology comes embedded into your kids, embedded into people around you once knew. I see people post stuff on their social media sometimes, and they talk about, and I say, okay, they're having the same issues that I'm having with people in general as far as socially. And I think a lot of it had to do with COVID and the quarantine. That's why I speak about that so much, because a lot of people don't realize that quarantine affected a lot of people, you know? And it affected a lot of people mentally from being in solitude for so fucking long. And you know, it's understandable or whatever, but the point that sticks out the most is some of those individuals were like that before the fucking pandemic, all right? That's what you gotta get here. So you had some wahoos that were already gone during before the pandemic started, and then it expanded itself more because now you have these people untreated. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Whether it be medication, whether it be that weather, it be that weekly meeting or whatever. Now it might be remotely, but it's not the same thing as being in person. So you have a lot of people that are coming out of this pandemic that are undiagnosed, haven't had any interaction with anybody in a very long time. And for that matter, they end up being kind of like a little wacky. You know what I mean? Now, there's several different ways you can look at it. Thank you, Dom Chick. What's going on? Can't stay long, but saw your last clip. Go delete the comments there ASAP. No, I didn't have to delete them. What's the name? The filter that's on YouTube it didn't even allow it to post. So that's why I took that clip, because I wanted you guys to see that. And I wanted you guys to see that it actually, YouTube filters that shit. So if you say something obnoxious or nasty, YouTube will just remove that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to really worry about that. What I'm worried about is just the intent and the incentive of putting that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, that's some bold shit. You know, like, that person said that like they wanted to fight me or something. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing this behavior from the women. Let me put this in perspective. I've never had, except for maybe one white dude, come on my page and say some obnoxious shit like that. And I think just based off his profile, it was a goof. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing he does with everybody's page. I know I've seen other YouTubers do that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you intentionally view somebody. It's like being a voyeur. You understand what I mean? So like, you intentionally view somebody's material, and then later on you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy a cute. All right. Later on, you just say to yourself, damn, she was cute. Later on, you say to yourself, you know what? I'm gonna say the most obnoxious thing I can possibly say out of my mouth, and I'm gonna put that up on this person's page, and perhaps I'll get 16, 20, 30, however many likes, based on me putting this obnoxious comment up. All right? And this is the way people think. This is the way people think. And the reason they think this is because they get a moment of fucking respite. You know what I mean? They get that moment where somebody pays attention to them. They say, you know what? You got a point. Let's turn against them. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn against them. I have had numerous people since my little YouTube career on here try to bring my channel down. Oh, they have put in effort. They have put in effort. You motherfuckers. They put in effort. And there was one that was successful for a moment. Hey, there was one that's successful for a moment. I said to myself, I said, you know what? That takes a lot of effort, a lot of hate from inside. Now, y'all know damn well I'm not gonna sit up here and disrespect the whole plateau of black women and say whatever I'm saying or whatever to be somewhat whatever, like if you want to say obnoxious, belligerent, I'm not gonna do that. But what I am gonna point out is that this like 14-year-old behavior that's going on is almost like high schoolish. You get what I'm saying? It's like, you said something I didn't want to say, so now I'm gonna say the most extreme possible thing I could say, and I'm gonna put it on your page, and watch, I'm gonna get 67 likes for it. And off of this, these people actually think this is like some type of momentum for them or whatever. But when you go to their page, they have no material up there. They have no works. That's how I like to term it. They have no works up there. It's just a bunch of blathering, fucking mouthy shit. And I'm like, okay, that's how you doing. Like I say, that's cool. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want to. But when you start getting into things that are beyond the line, like my mother, that's off limits. My father, that's off limits. My father's dead, for crying out loud. Have a heart. Have some solidarity for yourself. You know, have some self-respect. You can't call yourself educated queen and then you turn around and you say something as uneducated as that. That doesn't make sense. And if you ever paid attention to my channel, I do a lot of advocating for women's rights and all kinds of shit. So maybe you should look at some of my past material before you say something like that. And I mean, any of the women that consistently come back to my page, I want one of them to tell me where I've said something against them. Let me get out of the screen, y'all. Give me 1 second. I want them to show me something where I've said something not for women of color, but against women of color. And I guarantee you will find nothing. If anything, I've always, I mean, I think I've even gone out of the way to show my thanks and whatever to majority of the women that come to my page. Most of my demographic, I put up a clip of it before. Most of my demographic is women. I think it's like 51 or 52%. And then it breaks down region and everything like that. Most of my viewers are from Canada, United States. They have a small smidget from Europe and Africa, which is surprised because there was one kid that commented from Africa. He was talking about he was doing music before, and I never heard back from him. But if you see this, bud, yo, send me another email, formerbbe@yahoo.com. He said he was gonna send me an email. He never sent it. I know you guys remember. He was like, maybe like 5 or 6 casts back or something like that. I don't know. It was back. People that do stuff like this are coming out of the pandemic and quarantine and solitude. And solitude right now seems to be one of the elements, and the long duration of it seems to be one of the elements that's not being questioned yet. What are the full mental setbacks from some being quarantined so long? And I don't see anybody proposing that question. I don't see anybody Senate proposing that question. I don't see anybody, you know, where's Dr. fucking Fauci when you need him? Oh, I forgot, he's being accused of all kinds of shit. Ha, shots. If you pin the whole thing back, or peel it back or unpack it, you'll see that there's unconclusive, not only data, it's unconclusive data from all demographics, mentally, how it affected people being quarantined for that long. Demographics as far as how much, some states right now are offering $1,000 plus if you could come in and be monitored for a couple of months to see what the response will be from you taking the COVID-19 vaccine or inoculation. Now, a couple of states have started the program, and they even got commercials for it, okay? You come in for a study with us, and what we'll do is we'll pay you in reverse up to $1,000 to $2,000. That $1,000 to $2,000 is to gather info on whether or not the COVID-19 inoculations actually work. Because like I said, my mother worked in the medical field. You don't know the totality repercussions long term for years when it comes to any type of inoculation in the medical world. Usually, most of the time, they want a trial period anywhere from up to 2 years to 5 years to maximum 10. That's when you actually have some, you know what I mean, conclusive results. In the medical world, I'm talking about CDC, I'm talking about the real end, CDC, FDA. Most of the time when you get people at that point, it's been under clinical studies to enough that it's no duress, there's no fault in anything. Everybody can kind of figure out, okay, this inoculation works, right? Actually, I can go this way. They'll say, this inoculation actually works, right? So once you get to that point, you now have people. I'm gonna go over here to the side and buy a movie theater out here because I'm getting ready to go in the store here. So I want to finish this off before I go take off. What you'll have is, you'll have people, how can I explain it? You have people lost, man. That's the only way I can sum it up. You have people lost right now. You have a lot of people pretending to shit that they're not. You have a lot of people that are coming out of this pandemic and they're not knowing what personality to grasp onto. They're not knowing what particular way they should be thinking. They don't know what the next move is, as far as like a lot of jobs have been now ended that previously were. I can tell you a couple of industries. You know, 38% of small businesses across the nation do not exist anymore. 38% of them. They all went under during the pandemic, you know, so there's a lot of people not coming back. When I was in the town that I was at before I came back here to Stanford, I was trying to tell you guys, I was like, the economy down there, it depended heavily on small businesses. Once those small businesses got closed or either shuttered or, you know, the weight on the COVID-19 stimulus money was so stalled, what happened was a lot of those small businesses just went under. Now, a lot of those small businesses, the local populations, they bread and breakfast every day, you know, like the small coffee shop downtown, which is Bean and Leaf, and employed like somewhere up to 15 to 20 people in its entire staff. They closed down. Then you had another business that was the same way, that was a sports apparel place that everybody in the town went to. They had to close down. So you had 38% of small businesses closed. So that creates frustration. Hey, Dab and Dom Chick said to look in the comments in your last video. You may want to delete them immediately. I'll go look and let you know what I see. It won't be there. I know it won't be there because YouTube removed it. So that's why I clicked it. Like, let me give you guys an example. The reason I mobizined it was because of pure simple fact. I wanted to show you guys in action. If I showed you a screenshot of it, you wouldn't be able to articulate it as well. But when I clicked it, what you saw was that comment wasn't there. It was just on my notifications. So the notification let me know, okay, this is what the person sent or whatever. I don't give a shit either way. But this is what the person sent. But it didn't post to the what's the name because of the filter. That's why I keep the filter on now. Because before, when I didn't have the filter on, it was like anybody and everybody was saying all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I would get hyped, they would get hyped, and you know, it got me into a little mess or whatever. And I'm one of those type of guys that, you know, I will show up at your home if I feel it's that deep. I've done it before and I ain't scared to do it. And I'll go to jail for 2-3 years just to prove my fucking point. You know, so I'm used to be kind of stupid like that. Read the chat again. I can see the comments. Yeah, but this, you can see the comments here, but I'm asking you, did you, same vid from earlier? I looked at it. It's the Kev Sam video from earlier. Yeah, it's that one. So what do you see there? Tell me what you see there. If you see it, because I don't see it on my channel, so maybe they just filtered it from me. I'm hoping they just didn't filter it from me, but somebody, Dom Chick, go there and tell me what you see there actually, and then I'll delete it totally, because, you know, I mean, it's just disgusting that somebody will write something like that, you know? Before I end this, I just wanted to say, people that are coming out of quarantine, that have been quarantined for a very heavy long time, they seem to have mental problems. You have a lot of people that are walking around that think they're bigger than what they actually are. A lot of people that depended on a lot of different clientele to keep them afloat, and now that we're coming seemingly slowly out of this pandemic, those same small business owners paying no attention to. I'll reiterate one more time. 38% of small businesses in the United States went out of business during the pandemic, okay? 38%. I reiterated that point again when I told you the previous town I've been in, right here in this beautiful state of Connecticut, uh, suffered that, and many other. Here in Connecticut, we have municipalities and counties, and within those counties, there's small towns within those municipalities and small counties, right? And each one has its own city. Our city for Fairfield County is, I'm going to say here, home Stanford. Some people will include Bridgeport too, and excuse me, I'm sorry. Shit. And some people would include Bridgeport too. Shit. Yeah, Bridgeport. So yeah, that's part of us here in Fairfield County. Now, I'm sorry. At one time, we used to call Bridgeport the armpit of fucking Connecticut. This is the truth. I swear to God to you. You know what I mean? There's some nice people out there, but the way they run politics, the way they do infrastructure out there, it sucks. You know, it literally fucking sucks. And it has so for over 25, 30 plus years. They let a beautiful city go into this fucking waste. They let it this. Bridgeport is so decrepit because of the infrastructures that were left behind from the manufacturing area it used to be. That used to be heavily there. Same thing happened in North End and Hartford. When those manufacturing jobs left, they left shells of huge buildings. Like I give you an example before where I was at. Pfizer's had done the same thing. A year to the date they were tax exempt, they pulled the hell out of the town and left this hell of a big shell of a building. And that building, it was actually two structures. So there was one across the street. That one structure right there, that structure was for children, or intended for children. And then there was another structure that was across the street, which was the main structure. Now this particular Pfizer ones that they had this time, this one right here, excuse me, this one, that's okay. This one right here, in particular, was designed to do research, okay? And the research that they were doing there, it was heavy. You know, there's another adjacent plant, if I can give you guys a visualization, there's another adjacent plant which was right across the street. I mean, excuse me, I said right across the street, right across the water. And that one was research and development as well. When they came in, they brought workers from other parts of the state, meaning that you had to fit certain, you know, I always talk about education on here, but not in the obnoxious tone. Like, everybody could have went to fucking college. I know guys I went to college with, they ain't even fucking working right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like they dum-dum-dum, you know what I mean? So it ain't about that. Going to college is just basically getting trained for whatever your field is going to be. I learned this the real way, I say, and I always reiterate this because I was actually in my job field, and then later on I went to college only because the market that I was in, which was the music industry, had changed as far as marketing was concerned. Everybody started implementing Twitter. Twitter was, I think, the first one I saw implemented as far as like marketing. You know what I mean? So you have to matriculate with the times. But some people, they confuse education as a badge. And that's the problem I have with those two women. And Kevin Samuels talks about this, and that's why I titled him in it. And many other people talk about it. Yeah, I don't see it. David, we're trying to get your attention to check out the comment section from your Kevin Samuels video from earlier. There's a negative comment. Okay, I'll check it out. And if anything, you guys just hit report on that shit. Just report them. I don't give a shit. Just report them. They come back, I'll block them then. You know, you have to treat people like that because, like, the thing is, this is not for racist white ring. Listen, I put up videos and I've shown y'all because I said to myself, and I'll say this again to all black and Latin people or like brown people in general, but particularly I'm aiming at the Bengali and Indian population that's coming here. You know, a lot of them, they have their own racism in their own countries that a lot of people over on this side of the world don't even realize. And a lot of people will ascertain this information from being in the military, being in the service, and you know, because you're being around these people, you know what their intentions are. So even the darkest of Hindu or Bengali or Indian or Punjabi is treated very differently in their country, believe it or not. Once they get here, based on it seems like the soulless notion of straight hair, because that's the only thing you kind of common with a Anglo, I would think. I mean, unless you're, you know, half Irish or half Celtic or half, you know, Welsh or something like that. Yeah, this reporter, because I would have to end the broadcast to go over there and check it out. You know what I'm saying? I would literally have to end the broadcast. I don't want to end the broadcast for that. And let them leave whatever they're going to leave. I got 1.4 million views, all right? I got that because I'm honest. The things that I talk about, you can go verify and validate them or whatever. You guys have left that in the comment section itself. So if I'm worried about comments, I'm worried about those comments. Those other comments can be removed immediately as soon as I finish the podcast. You know what I mean? So let's say screw those guys. Let's move on with the bigger energy. Now, what I was talking about was, you guys are spending your energy gossiping with each other, talking about who's doing this, being voyeurs, getting into everybody's in particular, business and what they doing and who's suing them and whatever. But what you're not paying attention to is the bigger things that are going on in society and the changes that are going on in society. And collectively, if you don't start doing that, or we have this, how can I say, burgeoning group of African Americans and Latin Americans, and I'm not talking about particularly Latinx crowd either. I think the Latinx crowd is worst, and the generation of African Americans that's now, they need to sit down and listen for a minute, because a lot of things have not changed. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people in society that know this and know that those things haven't changed. Yeah, what does it say? What does it say? Is it the same thing that I put up in the video? If it's that, then yeah, I thought it was deleted. If not, I'll go back and check it. But let me stick, this is more important than that comment. Fuck that comment. I'm not worried about that comment. That's some wayward piece of trash chick that claims she's a queen in our culture, and I'm trying to tell y'all why they're not. You're letting people like Megan Thee Stallion, who has a song out called Thought Life or Thought Shit or something like that, and she's literally advertising this shit right here to the kids. Your kids, your daughters, your sons, everybody. She's literally, boom, here you go. Take that, you know what I mean? And I don't like that shit. That's why I did now 3 posts, I think, about this broad. And listen, put some fucking clothes on, chick. That's all we asking. You know, whether it's her, whether it's, and people will say, well, why are you pointing them out? I didn't like Katy Perry when she did I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It. I thought that was a certain type of influence that shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? I don't want my 14-year-old daughter, my 13-year-old daughter talking about she want to kiss a girl. Am I wrong for that? Now, if that's your choice and that's what you like to do, then that's fine. Keep that in the confines of what you do. You understand what I'm saying? But don't pressure me to join along with it, or pressure a family member to join along with it. I don't believe in that type of particular lifestyle as far as it's, you know what I mean, targeted and executed like that. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. To be honest with you, I think most people that try to project their ideas in that fashion, I think there's something wrong with that. I think there's a deep found fucking narcissism in them that maybe they haven't discovered, maybe they have, and they use it as an articulate engine to fucking manipulate people. I don't know. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But don't come to my channel. I don't like that energy. I'm not that type of person. I think one of the flaws right now in African American culture and Latin culture is this competitive streak, when most of you can't compete with a Jay-Z. Most of you can't compete with even the lifestyle that we live, being a part of Bad Boy. You can't compete with it. And if we draw it down and we put it down on paper and we do a comparison on paper, you are going to lose. Now, that's not a cocky statement, that's an honest statement. You know, and anybody that's watching this channel, the reason you're here is because I was talking about the music business and the problem I had inside the music business. You know what I mean? That's why I'm fucking live on YouTube, you know, and I make no qualms about it. But what I make sure to do is I talk about other shit than just the music business. Because if you talk about the music business just for a little bit, it's cool. The engines are pretty much the same as they were 3-4 years ago when I left. So it's like it's no difference. The only difference is the vehicles now. The vehicle used to be the physical CD versus now is a digital format, particularly with streaming versus downloads. You know what I mean? So what means equipments of money that it's worth now are even smaller. When I first came to music business, people had a double disc CD for $17.75. You could get it. Fucking Tower Records, you could get it. Virgin Megastore, $17. Then it got dumbed down to about $13. Then it got dumbed down again to $10. Then later on comes Napster, right? A lot of y'all heard about Napster, some of you haven't. But Napster actually got brought in front of a congressional hearing because they were stealing files, they felt, from record companies and putting them up for free file sharing, right? Not even a few months later, you got Steve Jobs coming out with this bullshit idea that he had some innovation. No, you took what was from those boys in Napster, you put a coin on it, put an engine to deliver it, you had the people to receive it already, you already had the notoriety from the company, Apple. And you distributed this shit and you were a success off the same blueprint that the people at Napster ended up being brought in front of a congressional hearing and later fined for. The exact same idea of Napster, in my opinion, was implemented with Steve Jobs and freaking iTunes. It's the same idea. It's file sharing. You can share your files there. You can buy files there or whatever. The only thing they changed was the monetary exchange. No, it's all good. It's all good. I don't get into beefing. Because once I get into the beefing things, like when I was beefing with Tasha K and Toxic Diamond, Toxic Diamond, isn't that a dumbass name? When I was beefing with them online, y'all please hit those like buttons too. When I was beefing with them online, I wasn't even heavily beefing with them. I was taking what was there and what was placed in front of me, which was a video of you getting pulled over with your 12-year-old at 11 o'clock at night, and you were on a mission to go get some alcohol. And you had your daughter filming. That's disturbing. I don't care what nobody, did you expect nobody not to say anything about it? Of course I said something about it. I said something about it, Jaguar Wright said something about it, and she got upset because of that. I'm assuming. When I did the video about Tokyo Tony, that's what they said, okay, this is the pimp opportunity. And it was from Tokyo. Nobody had that video. I had that video exclusively. And it was from Tokyo Tony's perspective. It was put up by her. You understand what I'm saying? And I knew where to find it. I grabbed that video. I put that video up. I didn't do any commentary on it whatsoever. Usually I do commentary on my videos if I do a rehash video or response video. I didn't put up any commentary on it. So I want to make that clear. There was no commentary on it. It was a raw video, that's it. Someone that's not even associated with the video flagged me for copyright strike, and that's why y'all didn't see me live for that many months. I don't give a flying what goes on. You understand what I'm saying? When you get into this whole sissy thing of flagging people's channels and, you know, acting like fucking two broads at a club, fucking arguing over a man or a dress, it's a different thing. These are guys doing this shit. Guys with a D doing this shit. I'm like, yo, what kind of sissy ass shit is this? Like, is this the way men are nowadays? Like, hey girl, I want to say this. Hey girl, work. Is that, do you respond more to that? Because I don't understand that shit. I'm sorry, I just do not understand that feminine approach to being a guy. I do not understand that shit. I do not understand that soft boy. I grew up around military men. I don't understand that soft boy shit. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, if you come to me and you got a soft voice, I automatically just, like, it's just like you saying, womp. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't pay no attention to it. You crazy. Yeah. What Devin said, it's a thin line between fries and shakes. It's a thin line between fries and shakes. Dun, dun, dun. It's a thin line between fries and shakes. Dun, 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 dun. Hot Toxic. Dun, 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 dun. I know McDonald's is out of apple pies. Dun, 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 dun. I know you want a double Big Mac. Dun. Large fries. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, guess what, Toxic? They got 2 for $5. It's a thin line between fries and shakes. Y'all remember that? Tom Chick, you a trip. Oh my God, that was one of the funniest moments I think I had on camera, period. Except for doing my skits, that one stuck out. That one was funny because, and like I said before, I've never attacked any of these women, men, whoever I make a rebuttal to. I never attacked them with the intent of malice. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes me different. A lot of these guys, they'll get on there and they'll just try, and you know what? And forget your mama, and you know what? Your fan. And I was just like, yo, you saying this shit to me? Like, I'll come to your house, like, for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all jokes aside, like, it's a thin line between talking shit and being for real. You understand what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys that'll do that. You touch my kid. I don't have no kids, man. You ever touch my kid? You ever bother my family member or whatever? Don't worry about the fucking police looking for you. I'm gonna find you. You know what I'm saying? Before they do, and I'll sit there and tell them why I can't. You know, you can't go around messing with people's families, and the closer the person's family is to them, the more your ass is in danger. You understand what I'm saying? The closer the family member is, the more your ass is in danger. Please remember this on your daily outings and shit and shit. You understand? Like, that's for real. So all that, like, throwing obnoxious comments and all that, that doesn't faze me. I've been called worse. You know what I mean? I've been spit in the face of people I help get jobs. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't bother me at all. I'm not very emotional. What makes me emotional is when somebody has a ferocity to say something like that you wouldn't say to anybody else. And when it comes from someone that's in the culture, and I say black or Latin, it particularly brings a strain because I can remember so many times I've gotten into situations before, guys. I swear to God to you, right? I've gotten into situations before where I've broken up fights. Like at the clubs, let me tell you something. At the clubs, the bars, the first ones that's fighting is women. You understand what I'm saying? And if some guys get into a fight, it's usually because of a woman. You know what I'm saying? That woman was dancing with somebody else. She might have flirted with somebody else. She done had too many whiskeys or fucking Long Islands. So she giving the guy the side eye, reckless eyeball, and whatever you want to call it. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time in clubs, I don't give a fuck. I've been to clubs all across this country of ours in my job. That's what we did. We was in the clubs. I can tell you whether it was Dream, Fountain Blue, it doesn't matter how high the establishment was, whether it was the lounge at the W, whether it was in California at West Wing, wherever it was that we went to, all those clubs, when they had a fight, it was always over some fucking broads, every time. Very rarely do guys go to the club and be like, yo, you know what, I want to fucking fight somebody tonight. It's always stems from a woman. It's bravado. It's showing her that you care. We get it, you know. It's showing her that, see, baby, I care about you. You know, it's an archaic way of showing that shit. You know, we've been doing it for 10 years. You're going to change it, you know. Maybe you get some of these, you know, and I can't even say that because I watch it in the LGBT community. I've seen it there where you'll get a lesbian couple or something like that, and they fight more than a man and a woman, you know. Happens. So, you know, I don't think gender plays that much of a part in it as broadly as timid emotions. Timid emotions are a motherfucker, you know? Timid emotions make motherfuckers run into grocery stores and shoot up innocent people, you know? You guys are laughing, I see you, but I'm being dead serious right now, you know? Timid emotions from men are not a good thing. I've never thought it was a good thing. I never thought it was a good thing, and I still will say that. I don't really convey with guys, like with my old job, right? I never really came, you guys got to understand, I worked for black people for 17 years and working in the music industry. This was a guy that had his own independent record label, all right, which you know is Bad Boy Entertainment now. Now, all those years working for that company, I never, in any of the offices, whether it was BMG, Brothers Music Group, whether it was Interscope, whether it was Atlantic, or whether it was Arista, which was part of BMG, Clive gave Puff his deal. In none of those offices did I ever have to alter the way I talked. You know what I'm saying? So you could call it being spoiled or whatever the fuck you want to, but I think it was more so a familiar tone that everybody had with me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew me, and so I felt the comfortability of being able to talk and speak plain. Some people are not allowed that option. You understand what I'm saying? Including in the work field that I was in those offices. A lot of people couldn't speak plain. A lot of people couldn't really say what was on their fucking mind because they was in fear of being fired. I always emphasize, I don't give a fuck about being fired. I got talent, you know? And I still stuck to that point the whole time. And I made sure I stuck to it because of the pure simple fact that I knew that at some point or another, I might have to exit this fucking building. You understand? I knew it was coming sooner or later. It always have to, inevitable always happens. You gotta go sooner or later. Live on Sundays in Miami, Fountain Blue, Dream. What's the joint that looks like I forgot what the name of it is, that looks like a movie theater. It's a converted movie theater. It's on Washington, I think. Is it on, no, actually it's on Collins. It's on Collins. Dream is actually on Washington. It's on Collins Boulevard. I forgot what the name name of it is. But yeah, we've been in all those. We did what's the other one too we went up to? We did that one when T.I. came home. We did 2 welcome homes for T.I. back to back. We were, this is when T.I. came home from getting caught with all the guns down there in Georgia that time. We did one for him in Compound in Atlanta. We were all part of that. They had us on World Star for that because we brushed the door. So you can look up that footage. There's also some footage from me on World Star when we was, I think it was me, Casa, Red Cafe. What's this guy's name? God, I forgot what his name is. Kid Capri. Kid Capri is in the footage. Whatever. There's all of us out in South Beach or whatever, amongst many other different footage you can find. You can find footage of me from NBC, definitely Viacom, particularly MTV's Direct Effects. I danced on there for 2 seasons. Shout out to Terrence Clayton from New Haven, Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? So I want to throw that in there. But yeah, man, I've done a lot, man. I've done a lot. Reinventing myself. This is my 4th time in life I'm reinventing myself. So my uncle said I'm a real man now. Because I literally did it from the grassroots this time. Y'all remember a couple months ago I ain't had shit. I don't front about that. I still don't right now. That's why I ask for donations. I have no shame in my shit. Motherfuckers talk about the bourgeois but want to be the bourgeois. That doesn't make sense. You can't talk about the bourgeois but deep in your heart you want to be the bourgeois. Now you're not making sense to me. Y'all always hear me reiterate all the time. I grew up around a whole bunch of Italians and Greeks, you know what I'm saying? But I know what the fuck I am, you know? How can you not? So, especially with this fucking bald head or whatever. You guys remember, if you guys don't remember, I used to have long ass fucking dreads I used to wear in a ponytail. So I miss my hair sometimes. I might grow it back, I don't know, but I like the bald head right now. You cannot have a consistent whole population of whatever gender it may be. You throw some of the blame on women, you can throw some of the blame on men. Irregardless, yeah, 1.4 million views, this guy. Yeah, I know. Don't be presumptuous, kid. The thing about it is, African Americans, Latin Americans want to throw microaggressions and passive aggressions at their own people, but they won't take that step to do it towards the people they say are oppressing them. And this is this thing I talk about all the time. I think it's out of fear mostly, and that's why I always bring up the fact that I grew up around Italians and Greeks, you know, because that fear doesn't exist in me. It never has. Y'all see me on camera now. You know what I'm saying? I don't put my intention into fronting and stunting on my own. And that mentality has built some of the most nastiest motherfuckers you'll have. And there's so much of individualists and narcissists that they don't realize they're welcoming in their own impending doom. There's only a couple of us out here that are preaching the notion and saying, hey, yo, you need to move away from this. I use my venue to talk about real shit. I didn't ascertain 1.4 million views talking about fucking gossip. You know, regurgitating stories that already been out and shit. Nah, I don't do that. Speaking plainly is a luxury in America in the workplace. Conveying your views is a 2-step process. Part 1, figure out what you're going to say. Part 2, say it in a way they can accept it. It's taxing. No, it's not really. Where's Red Cafe from? Brooklyn. That name sounds familiar. Brooklyn. Wait, Red Cafe is a person, right? Yes, he's a person. Red Cafe doing real good. He set up a tour company in Dubai last time I checked, and he is something invested into the cannabis industry. Like a lot of us have got to, I found myself now getting into investments my damn self. That's why I always talk about my stocks and shit like that, because I mean, that's the wave. You can make a lot more money in the long run with your stocks than you can with any 401k plan. Please believe that, people, and pay attention to what I'm telling you. I'll say this, and I gotta get over here, guys, because I really gotta go. Wait, Red Cafe, post some pics with you and your ponytail. I will do. I'll put it up. I had long ass hair. I did. I grew up for years, and then the middle of it started getting a crown. And it happens naturally because you twisted it over and over and over again to make sure it locks. And so, like, sometimes you can twist it a little bit so much that the hair breaks. The hair is dead naturally, essentially. So, like, you know, when you do it or whatever. But I'll post some pictures. I got a good picture of me and Mos Def together from the Viacom building. I think this was like it was his second album. It might have been his first album, solo album, or second album. I'm not sure. But it was one. Oh, okay, excuse me. I think it was his first album or his second album, I'm not sure. But when he had it out, when he had it out, when he had it out, I think it was around that time because he did an appearance at that time, which was TRL, okay? And so, man, I got a couple flicks for me and Mos. I'll put them up for y'all. I'm gonna put up a whole bunch of pics for y'all tonight, between tonight and tomorrow, because if I put them too much back to back, what happens is the algorithm inside YouTube, it'll halt you off for a little bit to, actually post some more. So I think like the main numbers, probably like 10 or 12 of them I can put up before they try to block me or some shit like that, or say you're consistently putting up too many, posts at one time or whatever the case is, So I don't know. That's how YouTube is working nowadays, amongst all the other changes that they have nowadays. You guys have got to stop being so vicious and fucking lying. This is not the field for competition. This is a field for people to get on here, talk about their fucking ideas, and move on, And if you enjoy the content, then, you donate something specifically or whatever. Jesus Christ. You donate something specifically, or you do whatever you're going to do there. But what you don't do is personally keep on attacking people over and over and over and over again for no reason. It plainly speaks out that something's wrong with you mentally. It plainly speaks out that your ass needs a hobby. The solitude that you've been invested in for the past couple months because of quarantine didn't work out the fucking best for you. So now you want all the rest of us to suffer you. Well, you ain't gonna suffer on my page, all right? And I'll continue to block you. I'll continue to report you. To my followers that don't want me to come in here repeatedly, make sure you report them as well. You know what I mean? So if you see something there, just report them. Just report them. Just report them. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. Just report them. And if that doesn't work, we'll find some other measures. But it says a lot about somebody that makes an account, a fake account. The multitudes of people that do it all across the internet. That once you block them, they want to come back and then they want to, you know what I mean? Like repeatedly just harass. That takes a lot of energy. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to rock with people like that. And we're not going to pay attention to things like that because that's in a negative zone. No negative energy. Y'all hit the like buttons, please. And it's Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. That's Stringer Bell 80. Y'all going to walk with me a little bit because I'm going to my destination before it gets too late. Actually, you know what? I got another destination I got to go to. So y'all can rock with me there. It's a shame that so much energy is put into hating your own, but ain't enough energy put into hating the one that you need to be hating. And we're going to talk more about that. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the tears of it, where it exists in the tears. I saw it definitely in my past work. I work for an all-black company, all right? So you can't tell me shit about the peoples and all that shit. I done seen it all. I done seen guys spend their fucking money. I done talked about it on here and everything else. Most of them, they spent their money because of mismanagement. The mismanagement from other people that were black in the industry. All right, and that's just the quite honest truth. Now, a lot of times it comes from the Masquerades and other guys like that too that are higher up that are actually signing the checks. But specifically, it was from people that brought them to the thing. Now, when I told y'all the first time, I was telling y'all about Bobby Shmurda and how they brought them up to Epic Records, right? And one of the people that brought them up there was Shy Money XL, formerly a 50 Cent company. You see Shy Money XL in one of my videos at the studio or whatever, bobbing his head. One with the bald head, that's Shy Money XL. So when I was around him, I thought he was a cool guy, you know what I mean? But yet that I learned later on, he was actually the one that brought those boys up there and had them dancing on the freaking table. This is the same record company that now currently my ex-company has as a distributor. And I don't know why you even have a distributor in 2021 because nobody's making physical, you know what I mean? Nobody has physical vehicles in which they're, you know what I'm saying? So that doesn't make any sense for one. Well, the funny thing about all of it is, Shy Money XL had those boys dancing on that table and doing what he was doing. And the amazing thing about it is that for some reason or another, they got a deal based on this. Now, when those boys got locked up and they got in all that trouble, you saw that the record company was screaming. You saw that the record company didn't have them back. And they left them, and they actually left them there. And they left them there for how many years? 6, 7 years here? So, the reality still sticks there that most of these guys that are bringing these boys to these record companies and indulging them into what they're indulging them in, these guys don't care about freaking these artists. These artists are products. And that's why I emphasize that and I say it the way I do so many times, that you know it and it sticks in your mind. As a music artist, it doesn't matter what genre you're in, you're a fucking product. You're a product. And the quicker you understand that you're a product, the better you are. Now that product is intended to saturate the masses. That product is intended to make sure that it reaches the masses, it's sold to the masses, and it's given to the masses in its fullest complexity that possibly can be in all outlets and all venues that can actually be used in or utilized. That's what it means to be in the industry. If you don't have that power, you're suggesting that power come from YouTube, you're out of your fucking mind. That's why I said the other day, and I said the comment when I said Boyce Watkins said he was a superstar. I said, you ain't no fucking superstar. When are you a superstar? Superstar what? Because you've been on Power 105? People forgot the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. You can have a different opinion and still get along. Exactly. That's what I meant. And that's what I meant by when I said that the earlier live that I did for like 3 hours. I was talking about the Sailor Moon chick, and I was talking about that same mentality. I don't know that woman. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever reason she was following me because of the traction I have on my page. So, you know, I'm one that makes a mistake of constantly saying, yeah, I got 1.4 million views. I got 1.4 million views. And I do it as a celebratory standpoint. I don't do it as a standpoint of bragging. You see what I mean? There's a very big distinction. And so these people that do that, there's a segment in the culture that appears to just want that all the time. And it stems from other cultures too. But it's people that want that all the time. And that's how they get off their dopamines. You know what I mean? Now, most of the time, these people are no bother with you or whatever. But when you get into things, when you're talking about people's parents and things like that, it just goes a little bit too far. And that part of YouTube, I'm not for. That's when that part of YouTube, when that part of YouTube for me comes to that realization, I'm like, okay, let's take a step back and see what the fuck's really going on. Okay? Let's step back and see what's really going on, because there's something mentally wrong with you to create 2 fake profiles and keep coming back because you're trying to express some type of point. What point? I don't know. I don't care at this point. The first time that I blocked you, you should have insinuated at that point that I had no intention of arguing with you. I had no intention of hearing anything further you had to say about any measurement of life whatsoever. It sounded comical. And that's why I made a whole 3-hour podcast about you. So I don't know if that was one of your friends, whoever it was or whatever, but that's just like sicko, man. To just keep coming back to somebody's page repeatedly. You know what? I got something else to say. And hiffle, whiffle, whiffle. And I don't give a shit. I don't care. I didn't stay in the music business for 17 years to fucking argue with somebody on YouTube about something that's of my importance. Like, I don't care what you think. Like, I don't know where we got in this ideology in society that your personal ideology, your personal theories, it stands content. It is like, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's paramount over everybody else's. That's the way you live and that's the way you like. When we get into real conversations, and I say this all the time, I always pose this question. How many companies do you have currently on your portfolio? And when I ask that question, what I always find is it gets quiet in the fucking room. When I ask you, hey, where'd you go to college at? Are you currently in debt? It gets quiet in the fucking room. It gets quiet in the fucking room. Every time. I don't know why that happens, but it happens. I'm not a braggart or what we call boasty. Man, not boasty. You see what I deal with? So being boasty can get you in a lot of trouble. And the ambition of being boasty can get you in a lot of trouble too. And this is what these people do when they have the intention of making a comment and thinking that the comment is somehow some segue to them creating their own channel. If you're going to do that, and if you were smart, what you would do is if you make a comment on my channel because you figure, oh, well, this channel's got 1.4 million views, I do it on here and pop off. At least have some fucking material ready to go when you do this. That's all I'm saying. So listen, I'm gonna give y'all a crash course. If you're gonna comment on my channel and you see my channel get you a little 10, 15 likes, because there's people that follow me, they're neurotic, that they follow me even though they don't like me. If you see those 15 likes, that's your crowd. So you should already have something ready to go. Dedicate yourself to at least an hour, 2 hours, whatever. You ain't gotta be like me, you know what I'm saying? But dedicate yourself to an hour, 2 hours, and have some material ready to launch, all right? So this is a segue. Write something obnoxious on my page, but have some intent with it. So that means have your own video set up. That page that you done had sitting for about 6 or 7 years with your voyeuristic asses. Take that page and make it active. Make it active. That's all you got to do. Voila, you got your own channel now started off the back of me. That's how you pimp, if you're going to pimp somebody. Not that dumb shit. Let me tell you something, Dom Chick. I would say the same thing, right? But this is why I say this, and this is why I know it to be true. Look on certain places that you go and pages that you frequent, and look at the amount of likes on a particular comment. You will be surprised. Some people have upwards, depending on how long the comment is sat, some people have upwards of 16,000, 20,000. I've seen in some cases 28,000 likes on a comment and more, you know? So you gotta be real careful with that shit, because what happens is, out of those 26,000 people, there's a segment in the demographic there that will actually go to their page and they'll be like, yo, I like what this person is saying. Let me see if they got any material up. And what happens is now that person becomes a subscriber. They're like, it's a very low ball, like, I don't know, niggerish, poor white trash type of way of going about things. You know what I'm saying? It's a lazy man's way of doing the work. You understand what I'm saying? And what happens is they end up always getting confused at the end because they've had no training, they had no depth, they never put themselves in the situation of actually doing the work. So now they're fucking confused once they get there. I've seen it happen to music artists 10 times over. They get there, oh, yo, I got it, son, I got it. Me and my crew, my man's about to be my manager. You know my man Ring Dean, you know what I'm saying? He used to work down at the donut shop. He's my manager now. And all that shit and all that shit. If you haven't been properly trained to burst in the situation, then you're gonna fail. And that's what happens with a lot of these guys as far as that, as far as their attempts at getting followers on YouTube and all that shit. People follow me on YouTube and come back consistently because I act my fucking self. I don't have to do the whole plastic wall. I don't have to do the whole tap dance thing every time I see somebody white. I don't have to do the whole fucking changing my vernacular, my octave, and my voice. I grew up around fucking Italians and Greeks. I talk the same fucking way in front of my friends Gino. I talk the same fucking way in front of Costa. I talk the same fucking way in front of all those guys, and I always have. They love me because of that. Their families love me because of that. I've ate dinner at their houses multiple times during the holidays, you know? So I make nothing up here. You don't have to divulge yourself into being like a coon or a kiss ass to fit in. And I think that was the attempt to do, and it was trying to be allowed or at least pointed to on my page. And I didn't like it. I thought it sat for something that was lowball. I think it sat as something that was just disingenuous as it comes, man. It's like you frequent my page, you act like, and that's why I tell you, I'm very alert nowadays, because there's a lot of people that frequent my page and my videos, and they have the worst intentions for me. You know, they have the worst intentions for me. I've had people that come on my page and 1 minute I say something that they don't like, and all of a sudden they become, it's World War fucking 28, you know? I don't care. I really don't. I'm into meeting new friends. I'm not into keeping old ones that are worthless, you know? That shit never works out, you know? I'm into making new friends. I'm a friendly person. I like people. I wouldn't necessarily call myself considered a people person, but I definitely always make sure that I'm nice to people, you know? And I do so because I like to be treated the same fucking way. Sometimes some people take your nice attitude or the gestures that you do or whatever, and they take them to a point where it's like you can't return back from it, you know? Like, for what she said on the comment section, you can't take that back, you know? I'm sorry, sweetie, I would never invite you back to my page or my circumference of me, because you're a person that's negative. You got negative energy, you got negative intentions, everything that goes around you is circled around an aura that I don't fuck with, you know? I just don't deal with. And when I don't deal with that shit, I make sure to lock it out that one time, you know what I mean? So it's either one or two things. Either one, you can shut the fuck up, or two, I can shoot you. You know, that's where that type of rhetoric gets with me. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to talk about my dead father. You're not going to talk about my mother. Most of the people that are talking are unaccomplished wannabes. So I have no disdain for anything. You know, I really don't. I just had this fat kid just walk past me trying to do all kinds of stuff. Nothing about you says workout. Nothing. You know what I mean? But people, this is what they do nowadays because it's so easy to garner attention for people. It's so easy to garner attention. So that's what I meant by if somebody could simply write a comment in the comment section and they get a batch of likes, say 20,000, 28,000 likes on this one comment. Somebody in that demographic in those comments of that 28,000 is going to be speculative enough to go and say to themselves, let me go see who the fuck said this. So the only thing I'm saying, if you're going to do that on my page, at least have some material to run. Some of you motherfuckers, I looked at your page. You've had pages for 6, 7, some cases 11 years. You have followers. I don't know how the hell you have followers on those pages, but you have followers. And you have no material on your page, but have a comment. That chick, Sailor Moon, or whoever she was, she had no material on the page, right? But she had over, I think it was almost 80 comments in the duration of 6 months on my page. And I said, well, how the hell, you getting likes on my page? How the hell don't you have any material on? You're just missing an opportunity here. And look, you guys are laughing. I'm like, you're missing an opportunity here. Like, what are you, a dodo? So at least have it with intention to have something come out of an outcome, you know? That's how the music business works. You're not very good businessmen, I would say, or businesswomen. Let me read some of these comments. All because I left a comment, it was a bit nasty. I cursed her out, and I was pissed because hold on, I gotta read all this. You guys are just in here talking. The people who got blocked come right back to prove their point, and it's pointless. Yes, it's pointless. Like, why are you reiterating the same thing you said 5 other times, and I blocked you for it? Told you I have no interest in what you're saying. What you're saying doesn't make literally any sense. It pertains to your personal life and your personal circumference. And a lot of people mistake that with that's the way the rest of the world works. The world doesn't work under your personal intentions or theories or what works for you that day or whatever. And a lot of people make the mistake by getting by and actually making it. You know what I mean? The people I worked around and worked in and the situation I worked in, we had salaries. You understand what I'm saying? That was inclusive around there. It wasn't a paycheck. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but it's a distinct difference. It really is. And that's why I know it to this day. The people who get blocked, exactly. Dial chick. Some of these people on YouTube need a pacifier and a burping. That's funny. You nailed it, absolutely. Anyone who thinks a comment is going to put them in need to seek help, well, it does. Like I said, you get a comment that's got like 28,000 views. I mean, the theory is that a third of those people are actually going to visit the channel. It's the same. That's the way it works in marketing. I worked in the marketing department. Y'all have heard the ex-vice president of Bad Boy Entertainment call me his little brother. They called my nicknames professional. I know what the fuck I was talking about. That's why they kept me around for 17 fucking years. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Let me see what you said here. Live on Sundays in Miami. Yes, live. The W, Dream, all those I've been in. Fountain Blue. We were in Fountain Blue with Chris Brown last time we were in Fountain Blue. Anyone who thinks, shout out to my man Rod Dollars, he made that personable. Him and Rod Dollars are friends, him and Chris Brown. Some of these people need some time outdoors away from the internet. I think a lot of people need some time outdoor from the internet. I agree with you on that one. To be quite honest with you, a lot of countries, they cut off the internet from time to time. You know what I mean? Now I see why. China does this a lot. A lot of the Arab countries do this. They just cut off the fucking internet. You know what I mean? The narcissism that's coming from the internet, especially after the solitude of being in quarantine and shit, is like this repulsive at this point. Like, I see motherfuckers come out, they're trying to live an avatar that they had online in social sound. You know, it doesn't make sense. You can't live life hold on one second. You can't live life as an avatar or live life, you know, vicariously through the internet and try to inject that into like real life. That shit doesn't work for me. And eventually, sooner or later, you're gonna get fucked up by it. And it puts you in a danger spot, you know? I've had people walk past me in prior times and what's the name, and say some obnoxious shit before or whatever. And I have to make a decision whether or not I'm gonna react to it or just throw an insult. That's a nice one. I like how he's got the glad. That's nice. I have to make a choice of whether or not I respond to it or I just let it be, right? And so most of the time now I'm picking to let it go unless it gets to an extreme. Now, if it gets to an extreme, you know, anything can happen there, anything can be said or whatever, which I think I've proven enough times. I don't give a shit if the police are there. I don't care about any of that. You've heard me correct the police. What do you mean? There's nothing in the Connecticut statutes or New York statutes that said I can't film someone. In the conversation, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to argue with people to get my point across. A lot of people are kind of like sometimes intimidated because of my voice. I've always been in a fucking position where I can talk like that. If you want to pretend, then that's cool. I don't give a shit. You know, I really don't. If you ain't made over $100,000 a year in your lifetime, you don't deserve to be in a conversation with me. I say that time and time again. I'll say it again. You don't deserve to be in a conversation with me about any fucking thing or judging any fucking body when you basically been unaccomplished as of this point to your life. You pretend, you can walk around, you know, everybody's got their own little, you know, execution of it, you know. But really, it boils down to low self-esteem. And if you're a man that has high self-esteem, you know, a mega or alpha, you know, and I'm not talking about an intention of, you're not a mega or alpha because of your prowess as a man or masculinity. You're these things because the pure simple fact that the way you think supersedes others. And the way you execute your frame of thought supersedes others. That's what makes you one of those two of an alpha or a mega. You know what I mean? And a lot of people leave out a mega, but those are actually same thing in reference to it. It all comes from Roman scribe. So they're basically basing it off of Romans, you know? Just like numbers, just like calligraphy, etc., etc., etc. It's all based off Romans. So, you know, I kind of get lost in that. Guys, I'm gonna make this short. I'm gonna get off of here because I got a couple things to run in and do or whatever. Cash App is Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. The PayPal link is fixed. I heard somebody earlier say they prefer, their preference was PayPal, so I fixed the link. Sometimes if you leave one letter out of that link, the link is unusable. You know what I'm saying? Which is unfortunate. Let me read else what else you guys said. The people who get blocked come right back to prove. Y'all want to hear something funny? I've been on YouTube since 2011, and Toxic Diamond reported me for harassment, and YouTube shut me down. I had to make a new page. True story, y'all. You told me that before, that you had to make a new page. And Toxic Diamond shut you down too, huh? That's crazy. All because I left a comment. It was a bit nasty. I cursed her out, and I was pissed because she had a YouTube premium. Y'all crazy. Oh, Lord. You must have been heated for that. I lit her ass up. I never wanted to make content, but I had movies, series, and stuff purchased and lost. Had it start over. I learned my lesson. Huh. Now I can shoot you. All right? Let me see what else is here. Coco, no, nothing at all. I've always used YouTube for entertainment. I never wanted a channel or to make content. I'm here to enjoy the show. And that's cool. A lot of people are here to enjoy the show, and I have no problem with that. It's just when you start giving your fucking opinion about every fucking thing, I'm just like, hey, y'all please hit the like buttons too, if you will. It helps in the retention of the channel. When you start getting into your own personal shit, and I'm just like, listen, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, my life is not sitting around, sitting back and wondering what you're thinking about, wondering what you're doing. I know a million people that got bikes. I know a whole biking crew in Brooklyn. What's happening? And Queens, what's happening? That's little bikes. Let me tell you something, man. I don't give a fuck where you're looking at or who you're talking about or who exactly we're filtering here. But a lot of people on YouTube right now have mental problems. And they're exerting it, and they're bringing it through, and they're passing it along, and they're giving it to people, and they're not even thinking what the repercussions will be in the culture. And I think we're going to start talking a little bit more about that. And this is not pertaining to one genre or gender or race. This is universal here. I mean, all these ideas, motherfucker, I got 1.4 million views. Go kiss your whole fucking family in the fucking mouth and go fuck yourself. I hate when white people walk past you and you're not even bothering them, looking at them or anything. They have some little fucking gesture. Mind your fucking business. I wasn't bothering you, don't bother me. That's a passive-aggressive motherfucker. And as soon as you bother them, oh my God, guess what? I'll put you on camera too. I'll put your punk ass on camera. Don't walk down there and talk shit. You had your opportunity. Don't walk down there talking shit. That shit I don't like. When you sit around and you got some gesture, that man walked right past me and looked at me like he was some fucking prevalent figure in society or something. Motherfucker, you normal as shit. You look dusty. you obviously jealous or something. And he flicked his hand down as I was doing my live. I'm like, who the fuck are you? And why are you involved in what I'm doing? And why is it that me streaming bothers you? It's not your channel. Then these people on here know you, so why are you affected by that? Why? Because he thought he could do that. And this is influenced by a lot of the sisters hopping online, talking about how niggas ain't shit, I don't get you another man and all this bullshit or whatever, whatever. A lot of those bitches are miserable, they don't look that good, and that's why nobody wants them. And the dude does want you, he doesn't look at looks. I can understand that. I've been in situations like that. I've dated women like that. And then some of those women are great women. You understand what I'm saying? But don't sit there and promote that every guy should do that. Every guy should want a chick that's 400 fucking pounds. I don't want a girl that's 400 fucking pounds. You see me, I'm slim. You know what I mean? I'm tall and slim. I prefer a girl that's tall and slim. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? So everybody's got somebody for somebody. That's what I'm saying. And the same thing goes as far as fucking opinions. You got an opinion, you got a theory, you got something you want to project to everybody or whatever the case may be, then you do that. You know what I'm saying? But you do it on your time, and you do it in haste of actually knowing one thing, that your opinion doesn't hold supreme over everybody else's. And nor do I tend to look at opinions, especially if they're coming from an unbalanced, I have people on here, and that's why I always ask the question. I always ask the question, have you actually been in the music industry? And if you haven't, don't comment to me about the music industry, because I was for 17 years. You know what I mean? So I feel offended when I have some fucker come on my channel and they're giving me a description of what they think goes on in the music industry versus what my experiences have been in the music industry. Not only with being an artist, but watching contracts, watching how people conduct business, watching how being in the studios, which I have, everything is there, you know? Everything is there. And if verification from the vice president, the video from the vice president, former vice president of Bad Boy Entertainment don't do it, then fuck you and fuck everybody that live in your house. I'm done with trying to prove things to people and everything like that. There are a lot of people in the music industry, including myself, that don't get mentioned as much as they should. There are a lot of people that put in a lot of work in the music industry, such as myself and many others that I can mention. Flames Flow, Rome, a lot of other people. My man Rome was responsible for not only Fred the Godson, but Jacquaid, who later on Love and Hip Hop, and also Shells, who had a single out with at the beginning of J Records with Alicia Keys. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not talking about minimalist people here. We're not talking about people that didn't blow. We're talking about multi-million-dollar artists that we were not only just in charge of, but we also promoted. We went to the concerts. We ate like them, slept, you know, in the same places they did, everything like that. And it was a fun ride. And as I continue in that branch off and trying to go into something, other things, particularly film, and trying to be able to hire people that are color and put them in positions so they can, you know what I mean, be able to finagle and use it as a springboard. That's why I get on here, and the information that a lot of these cocksuckers, they try to sell you or put in programs or whatever, I get on here and I tell you for free. I tell you for free. And the reason I tell you for free is because if you're good enough people, I won't have to convince you to donate or whatever, what you've shown me. But if you're good enough people, you'll take the information that I'm giving you and run with it. I'm giving you a crash course on things you can avoid, especially contractually. You could be in a contract for, say your album contract is for fucking 3 albums, right? So you're committed to doing 3 projects. That 3 projects could be done within a span of 5 years, but it has to be completed within a span of 5 years. And usually they put a clause on that contract that says it needs to be done within a certain span within that 5 years, the completion of the 3rd project. So now you're stuck in a limbo because now, like, as far as an artist and trying to create, you're like, okay, you feel rushed, especially on the second one. And that's why you see a lot of artists' their second album flops, because they intentionally do it in a lot of cases, or they just throw old material up there, remix it, rehash it, throw it up there and be like, hey, listen, I know I made this 2 years ago, but here, they ain't never heard it. They ain't never heard it. You know, Black Rob Woe was on, when we promoted that and the album Life Story, that single had been out, well, Woe wasn't, but the singles that were precursors on his album had been out for like 2 years. And that was the problem why everybody had to go back and revamp the album, because the bootleggers that had it in New York. So, you know, I give the information for free, y'all, people and everything like that. But we gotta also understand there's a segment of the people that are Black and Latin and definitely the Hindu people and Punjabi people, because for some reason or another that they translates into the Queen's English. I don't know. But they're good at servitude. They're definitely good at servitude, taking orders. Let's applaud that. They are the new slaves. I can't express to you guys how much you don't need to pay attention to these traditional record contracts and start paying attention to the shit I'm telling you for free. If you guys want to donate, it's Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. Also, there's a PayPal link in the description box, and I'll also have it in a pinned comment. And guys, make sure you share, like, subscribe to my channel, tell everybody about me. I'm gonna give you guys a quick view of my city. I'm in beautiful downtown Stanford. You guys get a view here. This is our town right here. A little traffic or whatever. I love it here though. All right, guys, I'm off of here again. $STRINGERBELL80. That's $STRINGERBELL80 at Cash App, and also PayPal link is in the description. Link will also be in pinned comment. Make sure you donate if you like the material that you hit. And more importantly, make sure y'all hit the like buttons. Like, as soon as y'all come in, make it a thing that y'all hit the like buttons, because even if I just pop up, it's just the retention of the channel depends specifically on if you guys hit like. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all can understand that or not. Make sure you hit like on there, and make sure if you stay with me, even if you're not listening to me, at least stay on for at least 3 to 4 minutes if you can. Don't just click on, because I'm not talking about something you don't like. Just click on and just stay there for like 3 or 4 minutes. It also helps with the rotation of the channel and helps me keep in circulation. It helps y'all get alerts from me, because I heard a lot of people say they ain't getting my alerts and all this shit. I'm gonna look into that like Scooby-Doo, goddammit. But I'm gonna look into it. But I think it's that, and I got to clear my channel with bots, which I just watched an excellent video on how to remove some bots from my channel when y'all see these porn links and all that other nasty shit popping in my. I don't support no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't support nothing like that, so let me put that out there real quick. There's something that pops up on my channel that's it's definitely a code, because it comes in VYI, and then there's like a .com thing. Do not click it, because it's taking it to these nasty channels and all this shit or whatever. And I don't know if your kids might see it. You might leave the channel open or something like that. I don't want that to happen. So make sure that, you know what I'm saying, if you see those links, report them. Report them immediately. And I'm gonna tell you how to report them. Make sure you report them as unwanted spam. That's the only way that YouTube will take up for it. I know I had to figure this out on my own. So make sure you report it as unwanted spam, or report it as this is harassing someone. And they'll give you an option for you or someone else. And you just click in on my page and it'll let you do it. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Cash App, STRINGERBELL80. PayPal link in the description, also be in the pinned comment. And also make sure you like, subscribe, share. And I will see you guys a little bit later, all right? You guys have a good afternoon. Later.